Hello everyone, welcome to Keto Living. Now normally you would see me on a Friday, but today I am so excited. I am doing a collab with one of my longtime friends, Beth Graves, who is Beth's Beauty and More here on YouTube. So Beth and I were talking about doing a meal that she did non-keto and that I was going to be challenged to do keto. Now, I have to be honest, this one wasn't that hard to convert, but I did change it up a little bit and kind of did some things to make it my own too. But when you finish watching my video, please make sure you hop over to Beth Graves' channel, which her video will be linked down below in the description box, and watch hers. And she'll have the full recipe, and you'll have two options, one for keto and one for non-keto family or whatever. So I hope you enjoyed this recipe. So let's get started. So in my intro, I forgot to tell you what we're making. We're making a Southwestern cheesy pasta dinner. And now, traditionally, this is made in a crock pot. And I decided I did not want to make this in a crock pot because I didn't want to have to, when I have my kiddos at the end of the day, I just want to put something quick in the oven. And yes, it could cook all day for me in the crock pot. But to be honest, I forgot to do it. So I came up with a recipe that I can make into a casserole because I love casseroles and they're easy for me to store and that kind of thing. So what we're starting with now, this calls for 2 pounds of chicken breast and it cooks in the slow cooker. What I did was got a rotisserie chicken from the grocery store, really cheap here, and I just shredded it up, pulled it off and shredded it up. And then we're going to be using, the recipe calls for rotel, but I didn't want to use rotel. So I have some fresh salsa. Now in this fresh salsa, it has a little tomato, some onion, some peppers, just lovely fresh stuff. So we're going to be using that in place of that. Then we're going to be using some black olives and of course cheese. Now I didn't want to have to track down, run to the store, and so I'm using totally what I have. And no, my coffee doesn't go into the recipe. But I shredded up. You need 2 cups of cheese, and it calls for sharp cheddar, and I didn't have enough to make 2 cups of sharp cheddar, so I mixed mine because I do like a little heat in my stuff. So I took a half a block of pepper jack cheese and shredded it up, a half a block of sharp cheddar and shredded it up, and then I had some white cheddar, sharp cheddar, and I shredded it up till I got a little over 2 cups. You're also going to be using some sour cream. Now for the seasoned portion, we're going to be using some black pepper and salt, some cumin, some oregano, and some chili powder. And then I'm going to use a little bit of my Hobson xanthan gum because a lot of what I have has a lot of moisture in it. And then for the pasta part, of course you guys all know I love my skinny pasta. And this is the fettuccine. Now the other one calls for like a heartier pasta like rigatoni or something. And of course I can't find that in my cognac flour pasta. So what I did was I took it, I rinsed it off, and I dried it up really good. And then I just cut it up in little bite-sized pieces. And these are thicker noodles, so I think it'll work just fine. Now, it also calls for Mexican corn or like, a corn blend. Of course, we can't have that on keto, so I just simply left it out. So this is going to be really simple to put together. So all we're going to do is with the chicken, I'm going to go ahead and add in the seasoning. I'm just going to put my little bit of pink salt in here. And y'all know I really don't measure a whole lot, but I try. And then just a little handful, not a handful, about a teaspoon of pepper. And I love this smoky flavor of cumin. It calls for a teaspoon. I'm going to put about a teaspoon and a half in here because I love that flavor. And then oregano, I'm going to put about the same amount. And chili powder, I'm going to put about a teaspoon of chili powder in there. maybe just a little bit over a teaspoon. Okay. And I'm just going to mix this up. Now, with the crock pot meal, I'm pretty sure, and you'll see on Beth's channel, that you cook the chicken and the veggies first, and then you add in the sour cream and all that kind of stuff at the end. But with this recipe, it's gonna be a dump recipe. Dump it in the bowl, mix it up, and dump it in the casserole dish. And I like that kind. So now I'm just gonna add in the fresh salsa. My fancy measuring cups. Leftover dishes, leftover containers. All right. That looks good just like that, y'all. Okay, now I'm going to add in my olives. And I'm sorry, I meant to say the can. This is just 1 can of organic black olives. Whoops. Man overboard. Okay. And then I'm going to add in about half my cheese, because we want some for the top. Y'all, this already smells amazing. Okay. And then we're going to add in our sour cream. And it calls for a 16-ounce thing of sour cream. I'm just going to mix a little in there and see what I think. This really does smell good, y'all. And I don't think we'll miss the corn at all. Because the fresh salsa has a little bit of everything, the spice, and I am probably going to use this whole container. I just like to mix a little bit at a time. It's a little bit easier to mix that way for me. Okay. Now we're going to add our pasta in, our fettuccine pasta in. And I do love this cognac pasta. But it does hold a little bit of water, and that's why I'm using my xanthan gum, because I just want everything to come together and stay together. Of course, the cheese and stuff will help that. And I might just add a little bit more of the cheese in there. Now, I am only adding about not even half a teaspoon of xanthan gum. Trust me, a little goes a long way. So I'm just about adding that much. It's just barely a sprinkle in my hand. I'm going to get this out of the way. And bring my casserole dish in. And I'm going to spray my dish. Now, I really actually had wanted one of my long pans, but we're having a breakfast this weekend at my church on Sunday. And I had to make some breakfast casseroles for our keto people at church. And they're all in my bar pans. So we're just going to use this, and it'll be fine. So this is the dump method, y'all. We're just going to dump it into the casserole dish. Put that over in the sink. And spread that out. It looks amazing, and it just smells so good, y'all. You would not believe. And then we're going to spread our cheese on top. Now, when this comes out of the oven, you can sprinkle green onions on top of it as this, serving it. But I did not have any green onions. And I am filming this on Friday evening. This is my dinner, and I'm hungry. And quite honestly, I just didn't feel like going to the grocery store, so we're going to go with no green onions. But it'll be fun. Okay, now I'm going to put this in the oven at 350 degrees. Because everything's done, all we need to do is melt the cheese and get it hot. So I'm going to put it in there for about 15 minutes at 350 degrees and then check it. And I may adjust the temperature, add or take away a few minutes depending on what it looks like on top. So when it gets done, I will be back and we'll dish it up. Okay, guys, so we are back and out of the oven. The cheese is nice and golden brown. It's steaming hot. And it just smells incredible. So I cannot wait to dig into this. Now, I wound up baking it at about 20 to 25 minutes, somewhere in between there. Like I said, just to get the cheese golden brown. I love golden brown cheese. To quote my girl Carla Brown, there's flavor in the brown. So, now, when you serve this up, you can sprinkle green onions on top. You can put more sour cream on top. You can put some avocado on top or whatever. You can just make it your own. But this is, oh, my mouth is watering. It's really hot. I should let it sit for just a while longer, but I'm not. Look at this. This deliciousness. Oh, yummy. Now I'm going to scoop out a little bit from the bottom. Obviously, if you let it sit longer, it'll dish out better, but I didn't want to wait. And it's just me, so. Now what I plan on doing is when this gets cold, I will portion it up into portions, and I will probably freeze these. I have frozen my noodles before, and they do just fine doing that. So this serves about 8, and just look at this. That is so yummy. I'm excited. So anyway, let's give it a taste. We put you back up here and we'll give it a taste. Oh, y'all, this smells incredible. I hope I got a small enough bite that I can talk afterwards. Oh, let me get an olive in there. I love black olives. And this fresh salsa in here just smells so good. Oh man, that's so good, y'all. I can't wait to finish in that. Now what I'm going to do is put a little dollop of sour cream and a little bit of Frank's hot sauce on it, because I like mine spicy. Now one thing I did forget to tell you guys, and this is kind of important. When you use your noodles, the skinny pasta, I of course rinse mine off. And then before I cut them up, I laid them out on paper towels and got them completely dry, because it helps with the moisture in the casserole. And also with the fresh salsa, I did the same thing. I drained the salsa really well and got all the extra juice out of it. Because when you cook it, the tomatoes and stuff are going to release more juices. And then it just kind of makes it a juicy mess. And as you see, this one is not a juicy mess. So, but I forgot to tell you to drain it. So this is what's for dinner tonight. Please don't forget to go over and check out Beth Graves' channel and her take on this recipe. And thank you, Beth, for collaborating with me this week. I hope we can do this again. I'm enjoying this recipe, and I hope you all will too, and hope you will give it a try. Now, if you've not subscribed to my channel before, please do so by clicking that little subscribe button. And don't forget to tap the bell right in there somewhere. And don't forget to check out Beth's channel again. I will leave all that below in the description box for you. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye.